No audio.
Now we're good. We're good now.
How long have we not had no audio?
Since the whole start of the race information and then the rundown and whatever else.
Well, I'm not doing that again.
I ain't doing it either.
But we are here at Rockingham. Thank you all for tuning in. This is just over a mile track. Not quite. I don't know why racing has it at 0.9 of a mile, but it's just over a mile track. Progressive banking, 22 to 25 degrees of turns. Just like I was saying, you can run anywhere, wherever your car feels comfortable in going. Always go where your car wants to go, not where you want to force your car unless you need to. Green flag is out here, ladies and gentlemen. Starting lineup, I said it, but audio was askew, but that's okay. As they all barrel into turn one, teammates in the first two rows, and this track is another one of those tracks that had a road course configuration. More back at that later. So pretty hefty field tonight, Brian. 22 starters started here this evening. That very top line is a good line to run if you can get it to work and not go all the way to the wall in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's almost anyone's game here, but almost the preferred line can be the bottom if you can get it to wrap but not quite hit the apron. 1 and 2, I always like to just kind of get to the bottom if I can, but the same rule of thumb applies there, so that's why you see a lot of people just use the middle lane and then sponge it up the track, so to speak. Exit of turn number 2 can be very tricky because there's a very, very bad bump in the exit of turn number 2. Turn number 4 onto the straightaway that's not so straight is a doozy. You almost have to diamond the straightaway, so to speak, as you have to these corners. Very, very, very challenging track. Rockingham, known as The Rock. Some drivers going to struggle, others are going to thrive because it is and can be a driver's track. As you see the 2-car heavily in the wall, that is Kenneth Street. His Purple People Eater machine eating some of that, well, it would have been Armco back in the day, but some of that safer barrier now.
So, oh boy, what a doozy. That was almost bad for that Purple Eater car there. I do believe.
Keith Hurlbut edging away from disaster. Do what?
Hurlbut?
Hurlbut.
Hurlbut, yeah.
Yes, that's what I said. Keith Hurlbut.
Hurlbut.
Hurlbut, yes, that's what I said.
Oh, it sounds like you're saying Hurlbut.
Because that's what I am.
It's Hurlbut.
Saying, yes. There's no I in there. That's a U. That's H-U. Hurlbut. What is silent? There's nothing silent there. The what?
The U.
I'm not silent.
I know you're not. Not yet.
His last name is Keith Hurlbut.
Hurlbut.
No, there's no I in there, Brian. You know, this is when we need someone like Kyle Gooden or like a speech therapist to maybe help us out to see which one of us is actually right and which one of us is. I bet you I'm right. I'm always right. Who's always right? I'm not trying to boast or anything, but I'm a good percentage. Who's always right?
Philip, I guess.
Who?
Philip.
Not at the moment. I mean, he's 2 seconds off the leader. He actually maybe could be conserving some tire. You never know. He could have actually learned something about his past experiences at Rockingham. He's raced here a good
DNR
bit,
truck.
so yeah, like 87s. Shake and Bake has raced here not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, it is a track he should be familiar with. Oh,
He's
trouble,
held it.
trouble! Down the back straightaway. This is
Digging.
going to include a few cars.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, Jim's hood's up. He can't see where he's going. Oh, never mind. He came
Jim
back up.
Comansberger,
Oh, Jim, you missed the
Robert
pitch.
Chiswick there. Yeah, he missed him big time there, but he also looked like he was having a bit of some steering problems too, Brian. So once the hood finally got to go down, it was right there at the entry to pit road. So first caution coming out at lap 11, and it's chaos down the back straightaway. It was not on Keith. It was on the 2 of Kenneth Street. So let's back that up, pause that, back it up, rewind it. Oh, treacherous. Turn number 2. Caught out Kenneth here, just like I talked about. And then Jim, I think he had to pedal it, and Jim wasn't aware of that. I think you can see the exhaust, flame come out the exhaust of the 2 right out of turn number 2. He's getting out the throttle, working the throttle pedal, and trying not to go and lose the car, so to speak. So he's having to back out, and that catches Jim off guard. Just kind of catches him out, and unfortunate, Jim just kind of nowhere to go but just plow him over, right? So Rockingham can be another one of those tracks, Brian, where people have different runoff points, different experience points, and one of these points is turn 2, where it can catch you out to where, I have to lift again and straighten the car back out. And someone like Jim, who unfortunately, I turned off the I rating and everything. Let me turn that back on and see, because Kenneth kind of looked like someone that. Oh yes, exactly. Jim sees that hood flying up. Kenneth may not have too much experience here at Rockingham because like I said, it looked like he was really having to work that throttle pedal. We saw some flame shoot out those pipes as he was navigating turn 2 there. Like I said, nobody's really fault, really. That's just racing sometimes. Someone tries to come off the corner and they have to back it up. Perhaps that's what I always say, had to back up that corner exit when you have to Nelly it down, like, don't want to drive and pancake that right side into the wall. So he did the smart thing, is getting out the throttle, trying to straighten the car out. Don't want to slip and just get on the gas, power it down, and hey, I'm going to be on the inside retaining wall. But unfortunately, he was not alone. You're not out there by yourself. You're not just in a test. You're not just in a test session or a practice session with just a couple of guys or by yourself. You're out there with other competitors. 20 other competitors are out here logging laps with you. And, you have to remember that. So you can't stay out the throttle for too long, Brian, or you can't make those big mistakes per se when you try to overcome something like he was trying to do, right? Trying not to spin the car out or have that turn number 2 bump throw him out of place.
Right.
You don't want to overreact to something.
Oh no, you don't.
But at the same time,
it's very, very rough.
Easy to do.
Very rough surface. And as I was going to say before, tire saving is going to be key here, massively, because of the rough surface that really doesn't start getting the tire wear really built up until a little bit into the run. And side by side for long periods of time, you're going to wear and tear either your left sides or your right sides, depending on which part of the track that you're at. I've raced there plenty of times. It's average. It's a good track. Very tough and difficult to finesse. especially if you're not used to it. So it's just protect the tires and go from there.
And rolling into the restart here. The restart box or zone here at Rockingham is fairly huge. But yeah, Brian, I always compared racing at Rockingham trouble with Raider, I do believe. Just going through turns 1 and 2. Gonna see here on he all by himself. He's maybe putting a bit too much wheel into the car. I'm not sure. Did everybody pit under that caution?
Yeah.
Let me check here. But he was not one of them. So that could just be like heat cycled tires not reacting to the entry of turn 1 there on that restart there, Brian. So he could have been also a little bit too low for the car's liking. Trouble. A little bit further back. Terry Duguay.
I was just getting loose there, and that's what we're talking about. Well, with bumps, those aggressive bumps, and 1 and 2. When you come off the turn there, so if you notice, whenever we do ride-alongs, that wall sticks out for a long period of time. Going into phase 4, like it's a quick jolt down. But coming out of Ford, if you notice, if you watch them very closely, the bumps, particularly the rear end, I almost said the other way, the rear end out from underneath. Not so much on the high side, but you still got to be careful with that wall there because it'll suck you right in.
It will. I mean, that is a true thing. A lot of people, there's only so much air you can put between yourself, the car, and the wall before, you get you're on a thin line, so to speak, before that wall does, like you just say, suck you into it, and like say getting a Darlington stripe or striping the wall at say Kansas or Atlanta, old Atlanta. Man, I'll put $1 in that jar. Anyway, Homestead, right? Like there's different. I said Atlanta, but you can't do that. Another good hard racing, to have these type of moments, reactions, and everything. So,
loosey goosey, well, all parts of the
indeed.
Not sure if it's not some rear end damage or what, but normally that happens when you've got a lot of gear or your tires are too hot. So you got to back off your turns, back up your engine, change your wheel points to pull them tires down, and then get back on.
Yeah, exactly. And also not be too aggressive on corner exit either. Like I said, back up those exits too.
Let it roll.
Just
let it roll. Ease it on in there.
Yes.
You'll be faster than that. And I think the problem is with a lot of guys, not just every league, the aggressive. If they know they're fast, they want to push. You see Yarrow. You know how Yarrow is. Yarrow likes to ride. And you realize that Yarrow is up there in the front. Almost every time. He will always try to take his stuff. Not push. Ride. Do whatever you got to do. And that's what you're going to do. Finish consistently. Find yourself in the SRU Xfinity Series playoff.
Well, we talk about it each and every week, each and every race that we cover, Brian. Consistency is king. Whether that be a top 10 finish, whether that be a top 5 finish, podium finish, even second place. You can't win. Just bring home whatever position you can.
Right.
You showed up. You got points. I believe we talked about it last night as well. You were saying, you were saying how, Monday, you were saying how as long as you showed up, you collected your points. And sometimes,
Got my days
yes,
mixed up.
no, you're good. But as long as you showed up, you were able to collect points, and regardless if it's a track you don't like or not good at, or a road course, whatever.
Right.
You collected points. Yes.
And I know you're like me, even on the console side. You set your goals every race. Well, my goal for this week is to either if I'm racing Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday, whatever it is. I set my goals going into every league race, every race that we do. I've done it on the console side of things. I set my goal to at least a top 15. So if you got a field of 30, finish in the top 15, I would say that's an accomplishment. You set your goals, you completed it, and that's where you need to be. And then you go back, you watch the races, okay, well maybe I could have done this a little bit better. So you go into the next week, like, alright, let me not make this mistake. Now maybe let me change up the way I was entering turns, or whatever it is. Tone the aggression down.
Yeah, but
stuff like that.
It's okay. It's been shown historically in the past where you never can tell when a race is going to go green flag all the way through, or it could be a caution festival, or it could just be an exhausting mental fatigue, because like I was trying to talk about Rockingham earlier before the caution that wasn't a caution, the tango between Terry and I can't think who else it was, but anyway,
Terry.
I just
say caution. No, not caution. I want to say 6 and then 3
but this track always felt like it was just a bigger version of Bristol to me. And I loved racing at Bristol, and I loved racing at Rockingham because I just felt like they were so similar. And I felt like if you could be good.
But I think Bristol's a little bit more smoother, a little bit. But I think Bristol's
yeah.
more steeper than Rockingham.
Well, this is, in a way, this is kind of what Bristol was before all the repaving and this and that and grading and, like I said, this and that. You got to remember it was once an asphalt. Bristol at one time was an asphalt paved track. It wasn't concrete. And it was, if you watch the 1979, if you can find it and watch it, that Earnhardt wins in his rookie year, it's a pretty bumpy surface too. So, I mean, but before the concrete and everything, it was a heck of a track. I like finding old Bristol races before concrete and watching them, preferably from the 80s. But 36 laps.
That's the good old racing back in the day. I like going back
yes.
to Dad and go out there and watch a couple of races every now and then. Just how much better racing was back in the day. Really no restriction. Go out there and start throwing fists and which is the excitement of the sports entertainment business. Which is what NASCAR is. You're there to entertain the fans, so what does that tell you? And NASCAR is a sport. So sports entertainment. So
yes, Vince, I do agree.
Oh God, no, that's come on now, I ain't that bad.
Well, I could call you Bill France.
Okay.
Because he did tell like Earnhardt and Richard, like don't mess up my, this is my circus, not yours.
Well, there was a battle there for second wheel, but Yarrell got on by Longest. They were hanging tight for a little bit. Longest fell off pretty fast, well, as we see. Once again, tires. When you
tires, and like I said,
especially at this
Like I
track.
said at the top of the show, Brian, that no one was able to hear at the very beginning. I said this is a very driver's track. This is a driver's track, right? So you got to really kind of suit yourself and find a rhythm. Like you were saying, if you have to let it roll all the way from the moment you start to enter the corner to the moment you can finally point the nose straight off the corner, just do that. Just easy in, easy out. You don't have to rush yourself here, because the moment you do that, the moment all that good on the Goodyear rubber is going to be gone, and you won't have too much to carry on into that final stretch.
Yep. Just
Um,
like I said earlier, bro. Sorry. The
no,
side-by-side
you're good.
racing, it is going to chip and chip and chip at the tire. You don't want to do that for too long, especially well, you're coming up on a stage race, so that's okay. You can do it, but in a longer run, when they actually do the long green flag runs, they get situated.
Yarrow might have something to say here for Deutscher at this stage too. He's right there on him, and Yarrow's taking the lead from Deutscher.
And that's just like I talked about, well, protecting your stuff, saving it to get to where you need to be. And that's what Yarrow did. We see him up here battling with Zach.
Yeah, we're seeing crossovers back and forth, each and one of them taking each other's line back and forth, crossovers back and forth, left and right, Brian.
That
Good.
line's a little rough, though.
But it's vintage Rockingham. This is vintage Rockingham racing at its finest, at its best here, too. Coming to the stripe to get the green checkered, I do believe, or at least.
That's Phil Parsons' fault.
Wow.
Throw it. Throw that yellow. Throw the yellow,
I don't control. Come on now.
Big crash.
Phil Parsons through it.
Are you calling Jason Phil? Okay, so Jason Adams can do Phil Parsons. I'm okay with that. As long as it's not me. Even though I do kind of have a eye problem, I guess, like Phil Parsons. If I'm looking at your one eye, it looks like it's closed at times.
You kind of remind me of Wally Dallenbach.
Oh, gee. I could see that.
He knows everything, just about.
I think he does, yes. Okay, yeah, okay. Wow, no. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Devontae Adams might get linked up with Rogers again. Anyway, well, all drivers are pitting under the stage.
Who?
Devontae Adams.
Oh, well, that would be nice.
Right? Oh.
Yeah, he'll probably break a leg being up there in New York or something.
Yeah, probably.
He'll trip over Jimmy Hoppa's grave.
So pit stops are happening, so the stage break is complete, as we see here. Does Yarrow come out? Yes, Clint Boyer, how's the food? Does Yarrow
You can hear that?
Yes. It's okay,
Man.
because I've done it to you before, so.
No, I'm not even eating nothing. That was just me, like, grinding my teeth together.
Okay, but Yarrow
Yes, I have
win the race off pit road.
I have problems, Brian.
Oh, it's alright. Don't you worry about it. You are okay.
Did you just say don't chew?
Don't you worry about it.
All right, yes indeed. I would say let's talk to the stage winner, but we can't.
We can't do that.
So, yeah, how dare us try to do that? But next best thing, I guess we could talk to. I guess we shouldn't talk to him either. Looks like. Yeah, we could always talk to Phil, because I think his teammate must have got a speeding penalty or something. He's way down the running order.
Where is he? There he is.
Oh, never mind. He's right there. Oh my goodness.
Alright, well, hurry up and talk to Phil because
If we could,
it needs to go quick.
I mean,
Philly!
I'm sure Phil can
Philly, you
multitask.
there?
He can. Phil,
Hello.
Philip!
hello, hello.
How's it going?
Oh, you know it's going. How's
I thought that
Rockingham
was
treating you? It seems.
there's a devil's hat on there, but it's not. Sorry.
Rockingham's been alright. It's definitely a bumpy ride, but just try not to burn them tires up too much.
But
Hey,
you do have a lot of.
Sorry, I was gonna say something. Go ahead. I'll say it after. Go ahead.
You do have a lot of track history here, Philip. Do you think you can take anything and like develop it and maybe just move forward from that?
Oh, for sure. I feel like the amount of times I've actually driven the 87 cars here, I believe that's probably helping me the most, to be honest.
Okay, Brian, what were you going to say?
I was saying you're finally starting to figure out that tire saving now.
Oh, for sure. I've been trying my best.
It's gonna help you in the long run. Trust me. It is going to help in the long run. If you can cool them tires, hang out for a little bit, ride around, let them burn their crap up, 15 laps, you start pushing, you'll get back up there. Right away, you're coming back to
sure.
green. Best of luck to you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Pace laps
No, as we come.
It never used to be that. Oh well.
As we come back to green here, Brian, let's crank it up, why don't we?
Oh,
Sounds like
I
a.
don't know if they have a
Green flag, green flag.
They might. Seen it.
Oh, contact a little bit further back in the field, so you didn't quite fully get to the crank it up. So let me double check and see who that is. That is going to be, oh no, Jim Comensberger involved in this one again. And
Danny Stoy.
that's quite unfortunate.
So those bumps, fresh tires, well, you know how those fresh tires can be. So it looks like he just
Yes,
got a
sir,
little high
and
there. And hit that
just a
front.
little, and hits the safer barrier that extends out, but he was still going to, I think, maybe hit the wall. If not, he was trying to avoid it, but nevertheless, oh man, contact gets made between him and Jim, cuts across the nose, and then hard contact down here for Jim. So that's his second of the night, and he's going to be done for the evening, I do believe. He's definitely going to be loading that up and heading home. One would have to thank Brian. So that's quite unfortunate. So yeah, pretty much you can kind of pretty much see where the road course would maybe kind of come into play, or where you would kind of come down and shoot in there. Maybe grab Brandon Hartwell, talk to Brandon real quick.
Hartwell, he is right here, P5. Hopefully they ain't going green yet. No, probably next lap, so we can hurry up and grab him. Hartwell, you got
Brandon. Hey, how you doing? You're one of the biggest movers so far tonight. Did you just have a problem in qualifying, or what was up with that?
No, I just wanted to start in the back, and then I'm like, I don't know, this might be a really bad idea. It ended up paying out. You guys seen that? I got into a couple people's doors and almost spun Nick, but it was fun coming from the back.
Yeah, coming from the back to the front, kind of like a last to first challenge on yourself. So yeah, I was just curious what happened there. But yeah, up in the top 5. What's the game plan now, Brandon?
Just ride. Uh, yeah, I'm just gonna ride until the end, and if I save enough tire, I'll go for it. But I'm all right with the top 5 at Rockingham.
Yeah, I would be too. Well, thanks for talking to us, bud. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you later.
All right, thanks, fellas.
No problem, buddy.
Just wondering about Brandon. He normally lays down a qualifying lap whenever he attempts a race. Sometimes he does, not always, but sometimes he will. So, Keith Hurlbut up 9 positions. David Cassidy is another big mover up 8 positions. So, looks like they're lined up ready to go, double file, and racing yet again here at the Rock.
Green flag.
And green flag waving back out in the air. Going up through the gears will be everybody. Glacier with a whole shot restart. I tell you what, trying to jump away to some type of advantage with that clean air. Yara with a little bit of a kiss to the wall. Not too much of a smooch, but enough to get some scrapage going, I do believe, but bit of a bumpy track like we've talked about, we've alluded to. Rockingham, very physical track, mentally and demanding. Almost 3 wide, got to be careful. But you also don't want to send your fellow competitors screaming into the corner either. Good battles all throughout the field. Others trying to stay off, others leaning.
Yeah, with those bumps, it's kind of hard. As you see there on the 57 wheel, as he's going through the middle of turns 1 and 2, you can see how rough those bumps are. And it just jolts the car. So it's going to be kind of hard to keep it planted at the moment. You understand what I'm saying or no?
Oh, yes, sir, indeed.
Oh, okay.
That old expression that Dell Jr. would use if it wouldn't feel like it's trouble contact between the 04 and the 45. Not sure if Yara was able to keep it pointed straight or not, but
Let's see if we can find Yaro.
oh, what a lucky save and catch for Yarrow, because he was really looking down towards that inside retaining wall. So very easy to do that transition coming out of turn number 2. Very
Yeah,
easy to
I
glide
remember
across the
driving
back
for
bumper.
SRU Cup Series, and me and Keith were going at it for that 19. I'm like, no, I'm a bigger Truex fan. No, I'm a Truex fan, dang it. No. But the joys.
Man, get a good feel riding on board here with the 04 of Rockingham. I'll step aside and let you take some sights and sounds of these onboards here. So here we go. 50 laps to go in the SRU Xfinity series at Rockingham, North Carolina. The Rock, one of the most famous ovals in North America. As we have traveled on board with everybody just about through the field here. Still have a couple of drivers to ride on board with, but...
He's from Jackson? Oh shit,
well, I mean, it's almost to be expected out of you at this point. Come on now, Brian. Just as the Bellamy brothers would say, just let your love flow. I mean, if you can't accept people, I guess, for who they are, how they unfortunately just flow. Then
I think I might know him.
I mean, you might, you could. Like my family, unfortunately, everybody knows everybody, and I don't know nobody. Everybody walks up to me, "Hey, Willie," and I'm just like, "Who are you?" Yep, that's me. I can always remember your face, though, but your name, excuse me, I may not remember it. Unlike the opposite way around, if I call you in a race, or if I have raced with you, I might remember your name. I'm going to remember that name.
How you doing there, kid?
Oh, caution is out here. What's it for? Who is going slow on my scoring and timing here? I don't know.
That would be Kenneth.
I was about to say, it looks like it was him, but I was going to wait for further confirmation. Going along here. Is it turn number 2 that catches him out again? And it is. So the bump out of 2. Treacherous turn number 2. Just onto the back straightaway, Thunder Alley. And he has such a moment here. It has caught out of many drivers, and Kenneth goes into the books as being another. That's unfortunate. That's his second car, as we know as well. So that happened in between the race leaders. As can't tell if who was leading before that happened. Was it Deutscher or Rongich?
I want to say Rongich.
10-4. So okay, it happened just about a few seconds ahead of the race leaders there. So everybody coming off the pits. What a tight race off pit road. Go up to Rongich, and let's rewind that. That's going to be a heck of a battle. Look at this. Because here, watch this here. Wow. Just would you look at it? That's breathtaking in my opinion. So, Hartwell up 11 positions, currently in 3rd position. Zach Deutscher in 2nd. Zachary Rongich in 1st position. Nick Rader in 4th. Jeff Gilmore is up 6 positions from where he started this race in 5th. Jack Clemens is in 7th, up 7 positions in 6th position. Michael Yarrow on a bit of a recovery mission after we've seen some contact and things go awry with his run. He's currently setting 7th. Chris Bryant is setting 8th. Philip Bridgman, he is down 5 positions from where he started in 9th position. David Cassidy is up 6 positions from where he started in 10th position. Kevin Roy, same with him. He's up 6 as well in 11th. Keith Hurlbut is up 7 in 12th position. Terry Duguay, 13th position. Aaron Double A is in 14th position. Looks like, is that Jason coming back down pit road? Yes, it is.
Yes.
All right, so it unhighlights, like it like, that's the best way to word it. It unhighlights their name when they're in pit road. I get it now. So, and like there's a blue highlight. I don't know how to change that, like the highlight colors, or even if you can, but I know how to like take iRating and stuff like that off. Like I know how to mess with the settings as far as like what I want to see. But
So when
I know
somebody
like, well, no, not just that, but their name will be like darkened. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Duh.
let's say pit lane,
Anyway.
it'll be a pit near it. That's how I know.
Well, like I don't have a big. I wonder if I turn my phone sideways, will it be a big enough? Can I see everything? Do I see everything? No, I still don't. I still don't have a big enough screen to see. Lame.
Anyway, Nelly. That was AA Ron. Oh, Zach.
Oh, big moment for Zach Glacier there in the 7, but he catches it. What a catch. He just got a bit loose. The car just broke away right out of nowhere in the middle of 3 and 4. He hit the bump on the low line right in the middle of 3 and 4. There's a bump dead middle of the corner right where the car transverses from 3 to 4, and bam, he hits it on that bottom lane. The car didn't like it. Everybody else is like, I'm fine. His just didn't like it. His was just like, I'm not fine. So, second place man there. The car just was like, no Shazam, right? Like, if anybody's, I still haven't seen those movies, but I know how the character works, so sue me if you don't like it. Anyway, I guess that's our one comic book reference for the night. Man, he was running up in the top 3 all night long, and now with under 50 laps to go, we're going to have hold on. Don't tell me. Hold on. 35 laps to go. Here momentarily, Brian. So, like, man, oh man, unless he has a caution or, like, big things happen, which, you know, who's to say? Can he recover some ground? It's Rockingham. It's a challenge. And Raider now going to put some pressure on fellow teammate Longich, it looks like, maybe have to fend off Brian Hartwell. We've seen Hartwell creeping into the picture tonight. You know, Clemens is there now in that Chick-fil-A car. I'm not a big Chick-fil-A fan, but I am hungry. So, yeah, I am a Christian, but they really stretched them things out there, I feel like. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Some good side-by-side racing here for, what position is this? Let me see here. Hold on, don't tell me that either. I'm finding it. What car is this?
Second and third.
Really? Oh, scroll up, you dodo. Yes. All right. So, yes. What an amazing battle here. Who's down there? Who was that? That is Bobby D coming out 4 laps down. 10-4, that's who that was. Chris Bryant in the 04 getting the better at the moment of Nick Ryder. Can Chris Bryant now set his sights on Rongich and chase Rongich down in the closing 30 laps of this race? Can Deutscher still recover from his whoopsie coming through turns 3 and 4? Bridgman down to 9th, just, looking through the field. Adams in 12th, Yarrow 13th position. Mark Koshik up in 11th. I know he's up 11 spots. Just saying, big movies here. Just looking at who's where. As you can see, the lead is 0.6 of a second. It's not that big of a lead, Brian. At Rockingham, like I said, just picture Rockingham as just a bigger Bristol. Take my word for it, folks. That's all it is. And I'm sure if Brandon Moore was here in the broadcast booth with us, he'd just be like, "Yeah, Will, you're pretty much right." So, I mean, he's been to plenty of Bristol races, and he could probably just, I'm sure he's driven Rockingham, right? So he could just be like, "Yeah, he'd agree with me." I feel like. Oh, I got to put my phone back to portrait mode. Anyway, so Kyle Petty was really good here at one point of his career when they had the Fox body style cars. Between 91 to 94, I believe. So he sat on the pole here for like, I don't know, 6 races in a row, something like that. Like half of his career wins came here at Rockingham. I bet you no one, out of whoever all could be watching this race right now that's not driving, it's a Kyle Petty trivia question I will be asking now, and until we go off the air. Does anybody know, without having to look it up, where his first win came? I know it, but do you guys know it? So hopefully within 25 laps somebody will answer me, and I guess in this day and age we can't trust anyone not to use Google, but someone besides me has got to know where Kyle Petty's first career win in the Cup Series came from. I don't want win like ARCA or it's Cup Series. I know. Do you know? So 25 laps to go here in the SRU Xfinity Series. And Rongich and the RKR, right? Yeah. Heck yeah, I'm right for a change because I got the little T name. The RKR or RKR affiliated bunch has been dominating here. What? It was a short track. There is a hint. It was a short track. So that's all the hints you're getting. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying no for it.
Anyway. So Bryant though. Yeah, it's somewhere in that region. Anyway, so right now, Rongich has driven.
This when we broadcasted a race there and brought it up. Oh, Raider!
Yes,
whoa!
Oh, Raider in the wall! Man, he just got like Earnhardted.
I'll go back and see. It looked like he got a little.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't tell if like maybe he saw like something or like Bobby Hamilton like there was a instance between Bobby Hamilton Sr. and Dale Earnhardt Sr. back whenever Bobby was driving the STP 43 car for Richard Petty, 97, I believe. Might have been 99. One of those 2 years. It's not 98 because John Andretti drove for Richard in 98, I believe. Yeah, Rader just goes into the corner. No, that's too far. That's got to keep playing it out, Brian. Keep playing it. Yeah, we're gonna just keep playing it here. Just keep playing. We don't need slow motion. Let's do fast motion. Let's do fast forward 2 times. I'm just kidding. Let's don't do that. That's too aggressive. Anyway, but we'll get to it eventually. Because this is very, until I see otherwise, we gotta, well, my goodness, how far away is it? Because we can't linger too long, Brian.
Yeah, I know, right? I think it was here, going into 4th. Yeah, right there.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot to take in right there. So looks like he just got onto the back of Brian and just going into the corner. Just a lot of just hard-nosed racing, Brian. Oh, Hartwell has got past Brian and into 2nd position. Can he run down Rongich? He is up 12 positions on that last to first challenger, wherever you start. Oh! Not quite a goal, but Keith Hurlbut bouncing off the turn 2 retaining wall almost into Mark Kosick, but not quite. And now Michael Yarrow just never could recover, way back here in 11th position. A driver we thought maybe could win this race, but just having some troubles. And once you get stuck back here, it's hard to recover, Brian. It's a track that, yeah, you can do it, but it's going to be a challenge like we've seen. This tight racing back here between Kosick, Yarrow, and Gilmore. Kevin Roy about to make his presence known here. And this is for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th positions. Mark trying to get a top 10 run here. Looking back up to the front, you have positions being exchanged. Clemens getting around Brian. David Cassidy marching in to maybe a top 5 position. He's already in the top 10, setting in 6th position. At the moment, Rongich has driven out to just over, or just at, a 2-second lead over Brandon Hartwell in 2nd position in the number 25 machine. I wonder if he likes the number 25, the same reason why I like the number 25. Maybe I'll ask him that. So,
Let's
9? Oh, okay.
We know.
Darn. No, I was just going to say, Tim Richmond. But Tim Richmond also drove the number 27 and other numbers too with his IndyCar starts.
Boy, I tell you what, the way they go into these turns here, you would think that you're going to make contact, but the cameras are so deceiving that you don't, where it looks like that, okay, well, he's going to punt him out the way.
Yeah, you're right. Rockingham is another track I'd like to go back and watch vintage races from.
Why, if you can come to the race
Yes, but anyone from pretty much 85. What? I was saying you can find pretty much every Rockingham race from like 1985, maybe even 83, from the Cup Series, that is, all the way up to like, when they stopped back in 2003, unfortunately. But anywho.
5 laps.
Here at Rockingham, excuse me, in the SR.
There you go, go ahead.
Oh no, I was in the SRU Xfinity series, presented by the B&R Racing Network, bringing you live flag-to-flag coverage of the action here. Don't think Hartwell's going to be able to run down Longage here in the closing stages, the closing laps,
next week, Will.
Turning that into the...
Atlanta.
I was about to look. Thank you. Does it specify?
Nope.
Well, it's for 130 slaps, so as old Wonder used to say. Maybe we could get confirmation with old Jaw once he gets done racing here. So, currently he's in 15th position. So, 2 laps remaining, and Zachary Rongich is winning this race. Don't want to call it too early, but that's what he's doing at the moment. So Hartwell in second, Nick Rader in third. Why don't they just try to wrangle Hartwell into their RKR group, into their little clique, into their little shebang, into their little stable. So Zachary Rongich. What? Oh, that's unfortunate. So, Zachary Rongich taking the white flag here and getting the checkered as well. So, where's he at? Rongich. Oh, okay. Yeah, there he is. So, Rongich, Hartwell, Rader, that's our top 3. Chris Bryant, Jack Clemens, that's the top 5. David Cassidy. Zachary Rongich drives back to 7th after having his oopsie. Michael Yarrow back to 8th, so they both stay in the top 10. Philip Bridgman 9th. Kevin Roy takes the top 10 away from Mark Kosick, who gets 11th. Terry Duguay 12th after having his troubles. Jeff Gilmore 13th. Keith Hurlbut 14th, Jason Adams 15th, that is the lead lappers, Bobby D 16th, and that is our finishers, Robert Cheswick, Double A, Aaron Adam, Dave A, Kenneth Street, Danny Story, and Jim Cummensberger rounds out the field here at Rockingham. Brian, so thank you all for tuning in. And we'll get to our podium finishers in just a moment. Nick Rader, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good.
Exciting Rockingham race, to say the least. There was a bit of action in it, I feel like. A lot of racing, sometimes a bit of beating and banging, too. But you drove that regular car well and steady into a third-place finish tonight. Talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Just dumb mistakes on my part. Making errors I normally don't make. I got into the 04, I think, twice, and I got loose on one and facing the apron twice, and somehow drove my way back up to third.
And it was pretty much a brawl at times, but Rongich and Deutscher, even Hartwell, once he drove up here, they were some tough cookies to beat. But like you said, you were making some mistakes. I talked about it before. I compared this track. Basically, it's a bigger Bristol, right? As far as bigger, I mean longer. So, so you can. I always say Bristol is more of a mental fatigue than it can be physically demanding, because you just feel like you are driving in a circle, but it's so demanding, right? Do you feel like Rockingham can be the same way, because you have to respect the bumps, right?
Yeah, the bumps are terrible down low. I mean, it just shakes your wheel all the way through. But just rolling it easy and getting back to it is obviously the preferred line. But it's kind of cool how you can go up there and make some passes. I mean, I did it a couple times. You can get a good run off. I kind of found something at the end where you kind of run the middle and kind of diamond it, and I found some speed in it to catch up to Brandon. But I think I kind of wore off the tires and didn't have anything for him last there. But yeah, overall, it's like a giant Bristol. Roll the bottom and you can run the top if you have to.
Not sure next week if it's new Atlanta, old Atlanta, which Atlanta, but going into next week, it's 130 laps of Atlanta. So what's your preparation going into whichever Atlanta, Nick?
I'm pretty sure it's old Atlanta.
Thank you, bud.
And preparation is practice. Get the feeling down.
Mainly.
Yeah, get the feeling, get some speed in the car.
Oh, okay, my bad.
You can run, yeah, it's another track. You can run kind of high, bottom, all over the place.
I think that's the faster way around, I do believe. The outside lane there, at least from what I saw. I don't know now with the update that they put out, so I haven't been on it since. But before the update, the outside lane was the strongest way around in Tire Saver.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that with the update. I mean, on a side note, they really ruined the cars at Daytona. I mean, you couldn't push. They were overheating real fast, and they took the runs away from them. It just didn't build any runs, so you were just stuck in a traffic jam.
Yep, that's how it is in the Cup cars at Dega. You get hot real quick. I've done a few officials, and you get hot real quick.
So you're saying the Daytona race was boring, Nick?
Oh no, it's anything but boring. It's just you can't go anywhere. With the old package, you used to get runs, and you could kind of use the third lane or push people out and clear them, but you couldn't do it. You were overheating it. So it was a little disappointing to find that out. I mean, we did a little practice in it, but it wasn't the same.
Well, I think they try to make it like real life to where, I think is it trucks or Xfinity where you can't stay locked?
Both trucks and Xfinity.
That's probably why they did it.
It's so weird how ARCA trucks and Xfinity, there's a rule how you can't be locked bumpers, but Cup, it's like, oh, you can do it. It's okay.
That's true.
I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
It was a good race.
Yes, great race tonight, and also apparently so was last week. Thank you, Nick, for letting us catch up about last week as well. Atlanta. Like you said, hopefully we could be talking to you next week, Atlanta. Final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to get out there before we let you go celebrate this podium finish?
No, thank you guys for broadcasting it here, and to the wifey that lets us do this, and my teammate Zach for 2 in a row.
10-4. Well, hopefully we'll be catching up with you next week, Nick.
Sounds good. You guys have a good night.
Me too, buddy.
Good night. Elvis has left the building. Forward on to Brandon Hartwell, our P2 finisher, and someone I thought we were going to have to be talking to later on, as long as he was going to stay out of the fray. And he did, very successfully. Brandon, how'd you do it?
Just kind of took it easy on the tires as much as I could, and then gained some spots when I seen that cars in front of me were definitely burning off their stuff and driving it too hard early.
Full send?
Hi. Never full send, Brian.
No, I never full sended it all night. I didn't
never.
try to, because I wanted to make up spots later in the run than versus early in the run.
I like all the orange and the orange rims and the orange number, and I like all the orange. I'm an orange fan. I like all the orange.
Chris Campbell.
So yeah, right. Anywho, heck of a race tonight. What do you think about the racing out there on the track? Because it was one heck of a doozy to watch. Because you and Chris Bryant had a good battle at one time. Then you getting around Raider. I mean, you guys were battling out there.
Oh yeah, it was my first race back this season. I know they ran last week at Daytona, but I'm not a big fan of it, and I honestly forgot we were racing.
It happens.
Yeah, just wanted to have fun with the guys. I've been racing quite a few official races, and it's not the same as you're racing with your buddies, because you know what you can and can't do with the car beside you.
And then you get a couple of them schmucks there that want to ruin your race for you.
Oh yeah, there was a couple guys
of
at the end of the race. Chris Bryant, I seen that he had so much speed early in the run. And I was like, yeah, I'll just let you go by and I'll pass you in 10 to 15 laps or whatever, and ended up getting second place. I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I was content with the top 5, so I'll take a second place.
Yes, sir. Second place finish here. It's a difficult track, a driver's track, but on to another driver's track next week at Atlanta, like you're talking about. Getting away from all those super speedways and drafting tracks, and the true best, probably one of the best favorited mile and a halves, old Atlanta, or what it used to be right before they did the super speedway configuration. What's the thought, mindset, and practice so forth going into Atlanta?
Oh, I love the old Atlanta. So we're in for a treat next week because I've won there so many times.
You gonna qualify?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna qualify next week.
Oh, okay, cool.
This week I just didn't care too much and seen what I could do from last place. So.
I think it's going to be a heck of a race. I always like watching Atlanta races, regardless if they're super speedways or old. I prefer old Atlanta. I had some great races from Atlanta. So, final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else, Brandon?
Oh no, shout out to the league. The amount of people in a race definitely has grown from just a couple months ago when we raced Phoenix. It's nice to have a good full field to where you can start in the back and pass 20 cars to go to the front or whatever. And shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thanks, guys, and I'll be watching it here in half hour or so.
All right. Well, congratulations yet again, and hopefully be calling to you next week, bud.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
No problem, buddy. Have a good night.
On to the victor of the night, Zachary Rongich. How you doing, Rongich?
I'm here. I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Sound enthused as ever. Do you just not like talking to me, Zach?
This is just my voice.
I'm messing with you, bud. I'm just messing. I know.
Zach has always been that way. He's always quiet and toned.
I know. I gotta mess with him, Brian. Anyway, so
and all them, then.
Right. Let's not bring that up. Oh Lord. Anyway, so domination with you and old Deutscher. You and him really duking it out. It's always the Zach and Zach show. Not always, but about 7 times out of 7. Just kidding. 10 at least. So there's always another guy maybe that throws his hat in the ring with you guys. But tonight here, what were you worried about mostly?
My right front, that thing would like to burn out. So after the first stage, had a little bit of damage because Dusher hit me under caution,
Oh, okay.
and then so I was really tight. And then I just realized I needed to save more, a lot more. And then that second run, he got in front of me, and then I kind of just hit my pace, kind of like I did at Bristol in the Cup, and just saved my tire. And eventually went around him. Caution came out. Looked at the numbers. I saved a lot more tire. So then on the next stop, I knew I was good to go there. Just hopefully nobody did it better.
You know what Medlock used to call him?
Who is that?
Yeah. He used to call him Douchier.
Douche.
It's
That works.
Deutscher.
Yeah,
Deutscher.
Douchier, but it's Deutscher. But yeah, I know why you call. Anyway, heck of a race I thought tonight. You know, between everybody in your mirror that you didn't really, you weren't really too big of a part of, right? But you probably saw every now and again, right? There was some fighting going on. Next week's Atlanta, old Atlanta. I'm sure you're gonna love that, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I can lean on the right rear a little bit there, not have to worry about the right front. And yeah, just same concept as here. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get a good old swig of Mountain Dew there. So, final thoughts, shout outs, anything else, or like, do you like having old Deutscher as a good affiliated teammate? What can you guys bounce back and forth having him and Philip, him and old Phil as alliances or teammates, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean they're not bad guys, and I get to give them a little bit of advice whenever I can, and if they ever want it or need it, if they want advice on a setup, I can give it to them. Since this past season in SRU with the Cup and everything, me and Zach have been good, and I've just been helping any way I can. And then super speedways, it's been nice. We've tried to work together. It only works so well sometimes, but yeah, I mean they've been good. They've been really good. They've been nothing but good to me, at least this year.
Final thoughts, shout outs, anything else, Zach?
Yeah, just shout out that car. I don't know, it was just doing something good. And then shout out, I'd say Mad Dog Graphics for the paint, and all my other old Dale Earnhardt Jr. and senior paints kind of combos and put stuff together. I don't know, but he's really good at paints. So if you ever need anything, with Mad Dog Graphics.
AKA
I feel like
Sports.
Yep.
Wait,
That's Brian, yeah. I have.
well, that's cool.
Yeah. OB.
Yeah, you just
I've talked to that guy. That's cool.
Why do you think he runs a lot of Mad Dog stuff on Tuesdays? He sits there and does his own. And Josh always gets paint schemes done by him when he's over there with us.
That's cool.
Brian puts up with me because he'll be making a paint and I'll join him and he'll go live, so I'll watch him do it, and then I find little things to have him fix, and he probably gets annoyed at me. But hey, he's
Brian
Yeah,
will do that, though.
because you're like me, like you, like if I want to run an exact paint scheme, or like in my head, I would want it to look like this. Like, hey, I want it to look like, because you've got like the best of both worlds on there. You've got like Bass Pro Shop, but you've got Goodwrench. You've got the.
But this one is I think it was the '96 Winston or whatever with the
Yeah.
But I just made it silver, and I have
Yeah.
a cup as well. So that's what this is based off of.
Exactly, like, and it's cool like that, like with your own little like number font of your own like image of how it's supposed to look. Like it looks cool. I like it. Like
3 and 8,
that's
38.
that's like something kind of like similar that I would want to try to run or like. Anyway, so enough of geeking out over Earnhardt inspired stuff. So no one really answered me. That shows how much everybody listens and how much we truly have. Yes, exactly. I know we. Hey, wrong it. You might know this. Someone might answer my trivia question. Where did Kyle Petty get his first career win at?
That would have been the race that Earnhardt and Darrell wrecked, wasn't it? Richmond?
Yes, yes. Bingo. All right.
They wrecked.
Yes. He was running third. The only reason. Yep. Anyway, so that'll do it for us here tonight on the BNR Racing Network, bringing you the SRU Xfinity Series race at Rockingham. I'm going to say Richmond. Anyway, so thank you all for coming out, tuning in, being a part, and until we meet.